So it's nature time. I know obviously everyone's talking about the volcano that erupted and pretty much a whole island's disappeared. We're trying to see if people even still there. So that's crazy news. But something happened in New Jersey, next to us in New York City, which is like the headline for it was the most craziest headline I've ever seen compared to like what we know about the climate and what's happening in the world right now. This headline is bogus headline. But first, I want to share this we'll share this real quick. So this is a huge fire that happened. I want to put this up. This headline about what happened. It was a chemical plant fire, which sounds like the most toxic thing to be on fire.
Of course, you know what kind of neighborhood that chemical plant was in.
So look at this headline: "The company will survive." Get the people who live near it, or us who breathe the air.
Who gives a flying fuck?
The company will make it. The company's gonna stand strong. It's gonna make it step by step.
The company is gonna make profits again one day. Don't you worry, folks.
So luckily the firefighters got it. Otherwise, it would have been a total nightmare. The 11 alarm blaze.
It already was a total nightmare from what I heard before this event happened. All of the fumes, the smells. I mean, people have been complaining about what's going on with their water long before this happened.
So we're going to break down what happened. It was an 11 alarm blaze at an industrial complex in Passaic over the weekend, left behind a smell of smoldering ruins of a warehouse where casino chairs were once produced. Forget the people who live nearby. It's talking about the casino chairs. The casino chairs. We got to show you the video of how close people live near this fire. You're gonna be wow. That people would just park their cars just a gate near it. The good news is the firefighters prevented the blaze from reaching Qualico. What is that?
Qualico Inc.
Qualico Inc. A supplier of pool and spa chemicals, which is definitely not something poor people need.
Yeah, we still have not talked about any actual people. We've talked about. I mean, we've announced that there's good news here on NorthJersey.com. We have not talked about any human being. And we want to talk about the whole thing about the robots replacing people. It's almost like they already are they're kind of inside on the joke as it is, right? We know what's really important, inanimate objects, because we've already shifted towards the removal of humans from the earth.
What about the pool and spa chemicals, man? Oh, spare those chemicals. So it's sold everywhere in the local stores, including major retailers like Walmart. It was a family business for sure. Even though it was sold to Walmart, it was a family business. The company will survive.
No word on any actual humans, because humans don't matter.
But then he declined to comment further, but pointed to an online statement thanking first responders for their efforts. We greatly appreciate your efforts, the way you mitigated a very difficult situation.
You know what really fucked me up? I just got this really morbid thought.
And that's the end of the article. The company stores about 3 million pounds of potentially hazardous substances on an average day. 3 million pounds.
I got a really morbid thought, Messiah.
Yeah.
And brace yourself. Hold on. What if the all lives matter people ended up being right? Because we haven't talked anything about any human beings to this point.
Oh, now we get into human beings. We get into the buildings of the humans. It is an industrial area along the Passaic River, but also near residents. At 3.2 square miles and a population of 70,000, Passaic is one of the most densely populated cities in the country. Any building in the city is close to residential. Unfortunately for us, the main building, the factory building is okay. The chlorine fat company was relatively unaffected. So that building was okay.
Can we talk about how the chlorine factory leaves everybody relatively totally affected with all the chemicals and the fumes? But don't worry, the thing that's polluting your air, it's still here.
The building that house, blah, blah, blah. So he's an entrepreneur. So this is the most toxic shit.
I'm really starting to hate that word.
Yeah, it's a loaded term at this point. It's like, so I want to share this horrific fire. So you saw that article. We got to the end of the article and it said nothing about any human beings. Like you said, Dr. Genius, nothing. But we're going to show you this really shocking video to show what human beings were affected by it. You see that clip? Look at it. I don't know if people saw this clip on the internet. Yeah, it was shared like 2 million times. It was 2 million people.
I watched this shit.
This is how close the fire was. So if you saw that article, you want to get this at all. You want to totally miss this. You totally would not know that people were just sitting there watching the fire, breathing it.
No. Hold on. Back up to the very beginning. I want to point something out that maybe some people, because this is the first thing that I see, right? If you look, these buildings look very much like what we are normally used to recognizing, like living in the projects, because I lived in the projects for a long period of time.
Yeah, the housing projects. Yeah, right? Exactly.
If you look at all the cars, you see any like high-end luxury cars there?
It's all Hondas and Nissans.
Right. And a lot of them are like 2013 and older, right?
Yeah, these are not people.
Wealthy people. Do you think that if rich people lived in this neighborhood, they would have that fucking factory there?
The company will survive, though. The company's going to do just all right.
The company will survive.
So this is a reason to wear a mask. If you had a reason, that would be a reason to wear a mask.
My body, my choice.
So I want to share. So I want to share you a bigger story to show you, like, while that article was saying the company is going to make it, it's going to stand strong, it's going to do good things. This article shows you another crazy milestone that we passed, because that company is going to keep on making chlorine tablets and bleach, whatever. But meanwhile, this article says that chemical pollution has passed safe limits for humanity. This is a crazy headline.
But the thing is, the good news is robots are going to be replacing us. So it's okay.
So right. a study calls for a cap.
Don't you worry, people.
A study calls for a cap on production and release as pollution threatens global ecosystems upon which life depends. I mean, these headlines are becoming like in the zombie movies when the newspapers are everywhere on the floor. This is the kind of headlines you would see in the fucking newspapers.
Do you know what doesn't depend on the global ecosystems upon which life depends?
That robot changing tires.
Robots. Yeah, robots. Robots don't need clean air or water. They don't need eco-diversity. They don't need any of those things. So don't you worry, people. The world is going to be safe for the robots. Don't you worry.
So this article stuck out to me after I read that article about the company is going to make it, it's going to stand strong. The plastics are particularly high concern. They said along with 350,000 synthetic chemicals, including pesticides, industrial compounds, and antibiotics, plastic pollution is now found from the summit of Mount Everest to the deepest oceans. And some toxic chemicals, such as PCPs, and long-lasting and widespread. Those people live right next to that. They're not in Mount Everest or the deep ocean. They park their cars there every day near that factory.
The study concludes that chemical pollution has crossed a planetary boundary, the point at which human-made changes to the Earth push it outside the stable environment of the last 10,000 years. And this is all since the Industrial Revolution, 120 years ago?
Yeah, we did a lot of things in a short period of time. So it says from 1950, this is projected to triple again by 2050. So the pace of societies are producing releasing chemicals in the environment is not consistent with staying within a safe operating space for humanity. So an article, a good article would have been, we're closing this factory down or we're moving this factory to another planet or some shit like that. But instead, we have an article that's saying that it's going to keep on making that crazy shit next to those poor people. So, and that's New Jersey, right? The state where that's not Cambodia. It's not, Malaysia.
It's right next door to us, man.
Yeah, so that shows you like how widespread this kind of stuff is. Because people like to blame China and like India for shit, but United States, man, we got
DuPont has been poisoning Americans for decades.
So I'm gonna stop it here because this article gets don't look up depressing. So I'm gonna stop there. So you guys can read that. I just want to read the concrete, crazy terms about the 10,000 years. That's enough. That's enough right there.
Well, don't worry. 10,000 years from now, the robots will still be here.
Changing your tires for a car that nobody can drive. So
maybe the robots will try driving. Maybe they'll enjoy it.
This is like worse than the Matrix. At least in the Matrix, motherfuckers are still using human beings for batteries. It feels like at least we're still around for that. Good God, it feels like we're approaching a future worse than the Terminator and worse than the Matrix.
Because the thing is, at least with the Terminator, we could say that the robots killed us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in reality, we're killing ourselves.
Yeah. At least we could fight the robots. Here, I don't know.
The robots are eulogizing us.
Yeah. So that's a crazy story. I want to make a big picture, small picture with the New Jersey fire. It's crazy. The chemicals, there actually was satellite imagery of the chemical fire going all the way down to Atlantic Ocean. So they really downplayed.
And into my apartment window.
Breathing in that chlorine. So they downplayed the shit out of that
robots
fire.
will replace me.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need those lungs. So
breathe it in.
So that is some crazy nature time by next door. So Black Power Magic Hour. We're on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Facebook until Facebook replaces with robots. Dr. Regenius, he's talking shit and playing games on Twitch, Twitter,
Robot
YouTube.
Power Magic Hour coming to you.
Robot Power. It's gonna be two like Terminators talking. Resistance is Pluto. This is Robot Power Magic Hour.
You will be assimilated.